In comparing Gestalt and the existential theories, the Gestalt focuses on the now and encourages clients to be present. Um, Being whole, which is the actual meaning of Gestalt, happens when you are honest with yourself and others and you take responsibility for your own emotions and needs. So, this therapy believes that individuals have an inherent ability for self actualization. And it just happens that's sort of consistent with the current cultural emphasis that we're experiencing on mindfulness. Existentialism is more of a philosophical approach that we have the freedom and responsibility to choose um, as we go through life. I'm really in awe of its founder, Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust and the death of many family members. So it's not surprising that he believed that meaning can be found in love, work, or enduring suffering. I didn't realize that one of my very favorite quotes is really based on his philosophy, and that's to decide is not to decide. Frankl believed that we are not victims of our circumstances. So both theories believe in living authentically and in self awareness. They both speak about resistance being used as like a coping mechanism that gets in the way of our actual self. Some shortcomings that Gestalt does not deal with the question of why or helping us to find meaning in life. Existentialists do not use techniques that Gestalt employs, like the empty chair technique, that might be useful to a client as they're trying to work their way through. Neither one is based in empirical evidence, and they both rely on the therapist a lot. So the therapist needs to be very sound, stable, and mature. And due to the way that our health system works, it's unlikely that existential therapy would get reimbursed. From a biblical perspective, the Gestalt theory acknowledges the need to face truth in order to be set free. It also talks about being present and not worrying about tomorrow, because tomorrow has enough worries of its own, as it says in Matthew 6:34. And then the verse in Philippians 3:14 talks about how we are to forget what is past. However, that verse does go on and kind of creates a problem with Gestalt, because it says that we are to look forward to our hope of receiving the heavenly prize for which God through Christ is calling us. And of course, Gestalt does not deal with that at all. Existentialists ring true with the book of Ecclesiastes, in that we're trying to find meaning just as they were in Ecclesiastes. However, existentialists don't come to the same conclusion as they do at the end of that book of Ecclesiastes, which says, "Fear God and keep his commandments." Existentialist therapy places emphasis on the therapeutic relationship for healing. But you do have to be careful. Even a Christian therapist needs to be sure that they are prayerful and dependent on the Holy Spirit for help and guidance. Gestalt therapy does not use a goal-oriented methodology, which makes it very hard to measure. Existential therapy is about being a philosophical person and a fellow traveler with your client. So neither of these theories lend themselves to operational definitions or testable hypotheses. It's very difficult to measure the result or success of clients using either of these therapies.